So what are the world's best blockchains? After thousands of hours of research over many years, these are my favorite blockchains for investment. And what sets these apart is that they have massive competitive advantages, right? So very few of the other layer one blockchains out there can really compete on the metrics I'm about to share for these assets. We're going to rank them in terms of quality from worst to best. But again, out of all the layer one blockchains in the world, these are my top, right? First up, Cosmos/Atom. Many people have given up on this asset, but let's take a look at what's actually going on. Well, the way Cosmos's adoption is unfolding is projects from around the world are copying its technology and building using Cosmos's tech stack. And so Cosmos is kind of the model home in the neighborhood. But what happens is as each one of these assets adopts Cosmos's technology, they start to build an interoperable ecosystem. So what is going on with this ecosystem? Well, in 2021, which was the year of the start of the current crypto winter that we've been in, this is what the network looked like. In 2024, this is what the network looks like. So people have given up on this technology, all while multiple high quality projects have adopted this technology, right? So the ecosystem has grown massively in a crypto winter. What happens in a bull market? Right? So all these assets have adopted Cosmos technology. They're not building on top of the Cosmos blockchain, but they've created blockchains that can now speak to Cosmos. And so now we have the interchain, right? And so Cosmos is connected with many of these projects. It says these are powerhouse projects you're going to hear a lot about, right? SEI, Say, Axelar, Celestia, Akash, Fetch AI. I could spend all day diving into this ecosystem, but it is a massive growing ecosystem. And in my Cosmos review video, I went deeper into how they're monetizing this network. But for now, they're just building out a massive network of assets, right? Clearly, these massive companies are choosing to use it, right? But who is actually using the Cosmos blockchain itself, the Cosmos Hub? Look at the monthly active users on the Cosmos Hub. Usage is going up for this asset, all quietly, all behind the scenes in the crypto winter. Cosmos is a high quality blockchain that very few other blockchains can compete with at this point, just from a network effect perspective. And obviously it has phenomenal technology, which is why all these high quality projects are spending millions of dollars building with it, right? So very hard to compete with Cosmos. What's next? Polkadot, another asset people have given up on. They call it a ghost chain. Look at the monthly transaction spikes on Polkadot, a comparison over time, right? Literally in January, the start of the year, there was like 12 million transactions. In September, there's over 30 million transactions on this so-called ghost chain. I did a deep dive into Polkadot in a separate video. Well, this is just a glimpse into the Polkadot ecosystem. Top 10 parachains. So what Polkadot does is similar to Ethereum now with other layer twos. Polkadot has a bunch of these layer two chains building on top of it, right? So here are the top 10 parachains by number of transactions in September. NeuroWeb, Frequency, Mythos. Those are the top three. These other ones are massive. We don't have time to get into them all, but here's just a glimpse into what is going on with some of these assets. So Enter the Mythos is electrifying Polkadot with 3.6 million accounts, 5 million wallets, now 5.8 million wallets. This is the power of having a massive chain building on top of Polkadot, right? It brings people into the ecosystem. And so one of the games, part of the Mythical Games ecosystem is NFL Rivals, right? 5 million plus active players and counting, and ranked number 23 in sports on the App Store. This is being built on top of Polkadot. So that's the third most active parachain on top of Polkadot, right? What's number two up to, right? The Frequency blockchain. Well, MeWe, a social networking app, is integrating with the Frequency blockchain, which is built on Polkadot to give its users more control over their data and identity, right? What is MeWe? Social networking app MeWe is adopting the Frequency blockchain built on Polkadot to bring self-sovereign blockchain-based identities to its 20 million users, right? That's the number two parachain. What's the number one parachain? It's NeuroWeb, a tailored L1 blockchain innovation hub for the Origin Trail decentralized knowledge graph secured by Polkadot and governed by the Origin Trail community. Origin Trail is truly massive. Lots of hype around it. They're creating a decentralized knowledge graph to power AI models, right? And there's massive adoption of that asset, right? It's beating mythical games and it's beating frequency. And so we can dive deeper into all these in separate videos, but there is adoption going on Polkadot. It's not a ghost chain. It's hitting a high in transactions in September, right? Now, what separates Polkadot from other blockchains, again, yes, there's massive adoption. What separates it even further is that they're actually trying to compete with ICP, right? ICP is a decentralized world computer where it's infinitely scalable and everything, including computing, including videos, including pictures, can all run on chain, right? So it's an actual world computer, unlike just a simple layer one blockchain, right? But what is Polkadot up to? Jam pushes toward original concept of world computer, says Gavin Wood. So they're developing world computer technology to ultimately try to compete with ICP. At least they're trying, right? Unlike some other assets like Ethereum. Yes, it can't compete with ICP on its technology. Yes, it's not even able to compete with Polkadot on its technology or even Cosmos, right? But what makes crypto valuable is adoption, right? Look at Dogecoin, look at Bitcoin. Technology isn't the most important aspect from an investment perspective. So let's talk about the adoption. This is the transaction count on the Ethereum ecosystem through Q2 2024. So the Ethereum layer one itself is in green, right? Pretty flat growth. But what we're seeing is an explosion of growth on its layer two blockchain, similar to Polkadot. In light green, we see Coinbase's base platform, right? This is Coinbase, one of the biggest crypto assets in the entire world, using and building on top of Ethereum. Then Arbitrum in dark blue, then ZK Sync in light blue, and then Optimism in navy blue, right? Just an explosion of growth of these assets building on top of Ethereum. Now, what Polkadot and Ethereum seem to understand, which is very interesting and smart, is that massive institutions don't necessarily want to give up all their potential revenue to a layer one blockchain. They want to create their own blockchain, keep the value on their own blockchain, earn revenue from usage of their own blockchain. That's what the parachain model is. That's what the Ethereum layer two model is. They're giving power to massive organizations to keep the value of their data on their own private blockchain that runs on top of one of these more secure layer ones like Ethereum or like Polkadot, right? So that's part of why we're seeing massive building from large organizations, right? JP Morgan's Onyx blockchain used for Siemens digital commercial paper settlement. JP Morgan, the biggest bank in the world, has a blockchain. Fidelity International tokenizes money market fund on JP Morgan's blockchain. Fidelity is a multi-trillion-dollar company. What is JP Morgan's blockchain on it? Fidelity and Siemens are using JP Morgan's Ethereum-based private blockchain network, Onyx Digital Assets, right? This is kind of the genius of Ethereum. They're giving power to big organizations to keep all their data on a private blockchain and ultimately pay Ethereum for its layer one security that it's providing, but keep the data privately. That seems to be the trend, right? Every organization is going to want their own layer two at this point. The founder of Chainlink has confirmed this. So that's going to cause massive organizations to continue building on Ethereum, even though the tech isn't that phenomenal. The adoption is just so undeniable, right? BlackRock's Biddle Fund tops $500 million as tokenized treasury market soars. Global asset manager BlackRock's Biddle token, issued in partnership with Securitize and backed by U.S. Treasuries, has surpassed 500 million market value on Monday. Ethereum blockchain data by Etherscan shows. So the biggest organizations in the world are building on top of Ethereum. That's why it can't be ignored. That's why Bitcoin can't be ignored, because the adoption is just unbelievable, right? So Ethereum does deserve to beat out Polkadot and Cosmos because of its massive, 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 massive adoption. It's already provided life-changing returns to its early-stage investors, and that's because of its adoption, not its technology. As much as I just talked about the institutional adoption on Ethereum, there's been major developments on that front from Solana, right? So Solana just had their Breakpoint conference. The institutions are here. Franklin Templeton, Securitize, BlackRock's Biddle token partner, and Societe Generale, a massive bank in Europe, all announced Solana launches coming soon. So this is why Solana gets the edge on Ethereum. Solana does have better tech than Ethereum. It's much faster, right? And so that could be truly, truly, truly massive for Solana. if they can continue taking away market share from Ethereum. Both assets ecosystems are growing massively, but Solana could grow faster. Where DePIN projects are building decentralized physical infrastructure, Solana 78 decentralized physical infrastructure projects, Ethereum 74. That doesn't include Polygon and Arbitrum, which run on top of Ethereum. Peak runs on top of Polkadot, and then obviously Cosmos is in the running, right? But that just speaks to how Solana has been able to take market share from Ethereum. That's why it's beating Ethereum on this list. Solana DePIN landscape. These are some of the projects, right? Render Network literally left Ethereum and moved to Solana. Helium, decentralized mobile, right? Hive Mapper, decentralized competitor to Google Clouds, being used by map makers around the world. And then these others, right? IONET, IoTex, Nosana, all solid communities building on Solana, right? So it's the DePIN blockchain of choice, and it remains to be seen if it's going to be able to take away market share from Ethereum, right? So these are my top 5 favorite blockchains in order, worst to best. Start with Cosmos, my 5th favorite blockchain. Now, what is my number 1 favorite blockchain? It has to be the asset that's currently putting out over 2 million Ethereum equivalent transactions per second. It costs tens of thousands of dollars to put a picture on Ethereum. It costs tens of thousands of dollars to store a picture on Solana, not on ICP, right? Over 2 million Ethereum equivalent transactions per second, infinitely scalable. It has that world computer technology. And guess what? It's growing because on September 16th, almost a month ago, internet computers soaking up relentless and eye-popping growth. Remember the World Computer Vision from 2024? ICP is currently doing 1.5 million ETH equivalent transactions per second. Right now, they're doing 2 million. That is exponential growth. So we don't have BlackRock and JP Morgan building on ICP. We don't have popular decentralized physical infrastructure networks building on ICP yet. We don't have the global adoption of Ethereum or Solana yet. Does it even matter? Because the goal of Ethereum and Solana and ICP is all the same. The goal is to go deflationary. The second your token starts to be burnt because there's so much activity and usage on top of it, the network is earning so much in fees, and those fees go to burn the token. This is true for these 3 assets, Solana, Ethereum, and ICP. It's true for all 3. So if they all have the exact same mission, who is winning, right? And this is why I say having big organizations building on ICP doesn't even matter. Because if you look at the inflation of Ethereum over the last 30 days, the supply has grown by 0.4%, right? It is inflationary. Think about all the adoption and building going on Ethereum. It's still not enough. So they're going to need more, way more, a global amount of adoption. Same with Solana. They have a burn mechanism, but it's going to require a massive amount of transactions and adoption to go deflationary, for the supply to start shrinking instead of inflating, right? That's the mission of all these assets, right? What about ICP? The ICP token is now slightly deflationary. Cycle burning has gone through the roof, right? So without the adoption of Ethereum or Solana, ICP has succeeded at going deflationary. Why is that? Because it's doing way more work. So one blockchain built on Bob is able to send ICP deflationary. One layer 2 is not able to send Ethereum deflationary. 74 DePIN projects is not able to send Solana deflationary because it's not providing that much value. If it were providing as much value as the World Computer ICP that's infinitely scalable, that can store pictures, that can store video, that can run an entire company's data operations, if it was providing that robust tech stack to the projects that are building on top of them, then Solana and Ethereum would have been inflationary long ago. But the technology is not there. ICP has that world computer technology. That's why it's deflationary. That's why it's actually beating Ethereum and beating Solana on their goals of becoming deflationary, right? That's all that matters. As the token supply starts to shrink, the price goes up, people get attracted into the ecosystem, right? So that's really all that matters when looking at these assets. That's how these networks get paid in token burns, right? So ICP, with one blockchain building on it, managed to go deflationary. deflationary. What happens when the second blockchain and the third blockchain start to build on it, right? It could be deflationary. It's not currently deflationary. It happened from just one launch of one blockchain, but it's able to do that again because of the technology. So that separates ICP from the pack. ICP just needs a fraction of the adoption of these other layer one blockchains to have its price skyrocket due to deflationary tokenomics. Does not get bigger than that, right? And we are seeing some institutional adoption, right? United Nations ICP launched digital credentials pilot in Cambodia. If that pilot is successful, they're going to roll that out globally. So those are my top 5 blockchains. Cosmos number 5, Polkadot number 4, Ethereum number 3, Solana number 2, and then ICP number 1. Very few other crypto layer 1 blockchains can compete with these 5 blockchains because these 5 blockchains have major network effects, huge competitive advantages, and staying power. Let me know if you have any questions.